and welcome to another beautiful day in Paris. So this weekend I'm planning to make Christmas cookies. It's a tradition in my family every year to make Christmas cookies, and I'm going to show you the recipe so that you can try to make it at home as well. But first I need to go and buy some decorations for the cookies, because we always put sprinkles and fudge pieces and M&Ms, all sorts of different things on top to make them nice and festive and colourful, and also chocolate to melt and put on the top. So I need to go and get those things, and I'll bring you along with me, and then when I come back, well, not today actually, probably tomorrow, I'll be making the cookies and show you how I do it. So let's go. The trees in France are always perfectly trimmed, like no matter the season. Look at that! In England they prefer to leave the trees wild and natural, but in France they're always pristine. I don't know if you can hear me, but it's so windy, like my hair is going to be a bush. But that's the winter weather for you. Like literally the wind is wild. Hello, so I'm back from looking for things to make the Christmas cookies, and I was successful. It was hard because in the supermarkets like Carrefour, they don't really have much for decorating cookies. In England, I would always buy like red, white and green coloured sprinkles and things like that to make the cookies really festive, but I really struggled to find things. I had to go in loads of different shops, baking stores, Flying Tiger, Henna, things like that. But I did find things. So first of all, I got these cookie cutters, because I don't have any cookie cutters, and I was thinking I would just use a cup or a jar to make circular cookies, but then when I saw this, it was quite a good price, and they have like a Christmas tree, a house, so I thought it would be really cute to have a little bit of variety. Then I went to the Lindt store to get some chocolate to melt. So I got, this is a specific one for melting, it's milk chocolate. This is just a normal white chocolate because they didn't have a melting one, but I think it will be fine. So I'm going to melt the chocolate to put on top of the cookies before I decorate them. So I'm happy with that. And oh, by the way, I got the cookie cutters from Tiger, I forgot to mention that. From Tiger, I also got these. They're heart-shaped, they're a bit like M&Ms, they call them chocolate hearts. And they're red, white and green, so it'll be very festive looking. And that was from Tiger. Then from Henna, I got these to decorate. They're tubes with fudge pieces, some crunchy, I don't know what they are, like praline-y looking things, and sort of crispy chocolate balls. So that will be delicious. And then I went to Carrefour to get this. This is just praline, so it's caramelized pieces of almond and hazelnut because I love nuts. So I think this will just be really delicious with the chocolate. And then I went to a baking store to get these. So I have some mixed Christmas sprinkles, and they are red, white and green. Then there's little gingerbread men and some silver balls and things like that. So it's just a mix of Christmas themed sprinkles. And then I got these Wafer Christmas trees, which I haven't seen before in a shop, and I thought they were really cool. They look lovely. They'll be amazing on the cookies. And the final thing that I got is from an organic supermarket called La Vie Claire, because I was looking for candied orange peel to put on the cookies, because orange and chocolate is a great combination, very festive. But when I went to Carrefour, they were like a fluorescent orange, or like an iridescent orange. They were literally, they looked so unnatural, so I didn't want to get them. But in the organic shop I found some candied orange peel that looks quite natural and good quality, so I'll be using that as well. So that's my haul for tonight, but tomorrow I'll be making the actual cookies and I'll show you how I do it, and I'm really excited. Just put on Christmas music and feel really festive and carry on traditions. Even though I'm alone, I still want to enjoy Christmas and do the things that I normally do. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that tomorrow. So I have all of my ingredients prepared, and I will show you now what I have prepared because I am ready to make the cookies. For this recipe you're going to need 500 grams of flour, 250 grams of butter, 2 egg yolks, 150 grams of cane sugar, and then a few tablespoons of milk. It depends on the conditions because it depends how moist the dough becomes. But that's all, it's very easy. So the oven is already preheated at 180 degrees Celsius, and what you're going to do is clean your surface because you're going to be making the cookies on this surface. So you'll take your 500 grams of flour, move the other things up, and literally just put it onto your table surface. Like I said, this recipe that I'm using is very old. It's been passed down in my family. I had previously said it's my great-grandmother's recipe, but I spoke to my mum and it turns out it's actually my great-great-grandmother's recipe, so it's a very old recipe which we always use for biscuits, and it is the best. And now you can add the sugar on top as well. I'm just going to use a normal plain sugar and just mix that roughly with your fingers. So you need clean hands to do this. And make a kind of circular form with a little dip in the middle, because that's where you're going to put your wet ingredients. So you should have your butter at room temperature so that it's soft. And what you're going to do is put chunks of it into the middle. So with a knife, literally just cut your butter into chunks until all of it is in the flour. And you want to use a good quality butter, because the butter is what's going to give the cookies all of their flavour. So you want it to be really good butter. I normally go for President butter because that always makes my baking taste a lot better. I always find that homemade gifts, like if you bake things, or if you are arty maybe and want to do some crafts, I feel like they're always the best gift, something homemade that shows you put lots of thought into it and that really comes from the heart. I love doing that, which is why I'm making cookies to give to everyone at uni. So I just think it's the best type of gift you can give. So now that all of your butter is on the flour, you will just grab the eggs and put them into the hole as well. The 2 egg yolks. And now this is where it gets messy, because you literally just need to mix everything all together with your hands. So here we go. And just massage everything together until it forms a ball of dough. And that's how easy it is. And like I said, that's why I have the milk ready on the side of the tablespoon, because the milk is not 100% necessary for the recipe, but it's just about the conditions, because obviously the humidity and the temperature, and that can really affect doughs. So if it's drier, you need to add more milk. Or generally, how much I add is normally just 2 tablespoons, but we'll see how it goes. So as you can see, I've come to a point where everything is combined, but it's kind of crumbly, and I've got some bits that are sticking together and some bits that are just flour that aren't sticking together at all. So this is where you get your milk and a tablespoon, and you just make a little dip in the middle of the pile, and I'm going to start with 2 spoons, and we'll see how it goes from there. And you just start putting the drier parts in there and mixing it. And you just add it as you go, seeing how much you need, adding 2 spoons at a time. See, for example, that hasn't really made much of a difference. I'm going to need to add some more. And it's just a process that you have to enjoy. Put some Christmas music on, and maybe a Christmas film on in the background, and just hang out with your friends and family and feel the Christmas spirit. Let me tell you that these cookies are the best cookies you will ever have. They're so buttery and perfectly crispy and flaky and just incredible. And when you're baking them as well, it creates the most incredible scent in your home. It will just smell like Christmas, and I love it. And I've always loved baking. Baking is definitely one of my hobbies. I feel like something that's really simple and just a physical task to do, and that you know if you follow the steps, then you'll get something delicious at the end. I feel like that's so relaxing and peaceful, and I just really enjoy baking in the weekends. Often in the weekends I'll bake, whether it's a loaf like the banana bread recipe that I posted a while ago, or if it's just pancakes for breakfast, which is something a bit quicker, but still, it's a bit more effort, and I like to put the effort in to do things myself rather than just buying cookies or buying chocolate to give to people, because it's always more natural, more delicious, and it comes from the heart as well. So starting to come together a bit more, but we're going to need a bit more milk. I'll add a few more spoons and then it should be okay. And if you don't have to necessarily use milk, but if you're using it, you do need to use cow's milk. Or another possibility is to use cream, like double cream or single cream, or whatever kind of cream you have. but it needs to be a proper dairy product. Milk substitutes won't make the cookies as good. Yeah, and I specify that because I don't ever drink cow's milk, but for this recipe I did specifically buy cow's milk. It's getting there. I can feel that the dough is starting to stick together. It's a lot of dough, so it's a bit hard to mix it by myself. If you have a KitchenAid, then obviously you can always just put everything in there and let it do its job. But I don't have one, so we're doing it by hand. And if you ever find that you accidentally added a bit too much milk and the dough gets too sticky, you can always just add a sprinkle of flour to dry it out of it. Because there's always the possibility that you can accidentally go a step too far, so it's always savable, don't worry. Okay, so this is how it should look when it's ready. It should be able to stick together easily in a ball. It should be nice and moist, but not too sticky, so you can see if I put it on the counter, it's not sticking to it. It's just a lovely, soft dough that's, I guess, comparable to Play-Doh if you want to know the texture, and it is delicious, and I love to eat it as well. Cheeky of me, I know, but so delicious. The butter makes all the difference. You definitely need to find a good quality butter, which is easily done in France. I'm very lucky about that, but in England I always go for President butter because it's the best butter that is available to buy to bake with. So yeah, that's how easy it is to make the dough. And now I'm going to roll it out and literally just cut out the shapes of cookie cutters and put it in the oven. So it's very easy. So I've prepared all my cookie cutters and now I'm about to roll out the dough. I have a bit of a problem though, because I just realised there's no rolling pin in my apartment, so I'm going to try to roll it with this jar because it's quite long and flat. You should be using a rolling pin, it's just there isn't one here and I didn't realise when I went out shopping, so we're going to try and I'm probably going to actually rip this dough in half because it's quite a lot and it'll be easier to do it in sections. So, start with this, flatten it a bit with my hands first just to make it easier to roll. This just shows that even if you don't have all the baking equipment, you can always improvise. It's going to be harder to make it all even, but it's working so far. So once you've rolled your dough out, you get your cookie cutter, I'm going to start with the heart, and you just push it down into the dough and twist a little bit just to loosen the sides, and you keep going with that all the way along until you've covered your dough with as many shapes as you can fill. And then I normally use a knife to take the cookie off the surface just because I find it easier not to rip it that way. And you peel it off and voila, you should have a cookie like so. And you just put it on your tray. I've got a tray just here. And you keep going until, like I said, you've done as much as you can, and when you've got the leftover bits of dough that you've peeled from around the shapes, you roll it again, make more shapes, put them on the tray, and you repeat the process until you have no dough left. So I'm just going to be cracking on with this and I'll show you when it's done. So as you can see, here I have my first tray with hearts and Christmas trees, and I'm going to pop this in the oven which is preheated at 180 degrees Celsius, and I'll leave it for about 10 to 15 minutes. You need to keep an eye on them, but basically when they start to turn golden, you know they're ready. And also by scent, when you start smelling them really strongly, then you know they're ready. So I'm going to do that now. There you go. About halfway or 3/4 of the way through, I would also turn around the tray to make sure that they bake evenly and nicely, so I'm about to turn over the tray now. They're looking good. Oh my gosh, that just fogged up the camera really badly. Okay, so the tray's turned around. just taken the first batch of cookies out after 12 minutes. And da-da-da, they look amazing. You know they're ready that when you turn them around, the bottom is kind of golden and hard. So that's how you know they're ready. And yeah, it's a success so far. It's always hard using a new oven for the first time with a recipe because you don't know if it's going to work or not, but it looks like it's going well. Also, I forgot to mention that once they've come out of the oven, you have to leave them to cool down before you transfer them to a plate or a tray or whatever you're going to decorate them on, because otherwise, since they're fragile at this point, because they're still very hot, they can break, and it's best to leave them 10 minutes to cool, then you can transfer them to the plate to prepare them for decorating, which is always my favourite part. I absolutely love decorating Christmas cookies, so I'm very excited. Okay, so now that the biscuits are out of the oven, it is time to decorate them, which, like I said, is my favourite part. So what I've done is I've broken the milk chocolate and the white chocolate, put them in jars in water on a cloth so that the jars don't crack when I heat them, and I'm going to turn the hob on and melt the chocolate. Okay, so I've left the chocolate here in the boiling water, and as you can see now it's nice and runny. Both of them have melted, so they're ready to put onto the cookies. So I have my ready melted chocolate, I have all of my decorations laid out, and it's time to start decorating. So all you do is you grab your cookie. I'm going to start with a heart, and you get a bit of chocolate and just drizzle it on top to cover it, a bit like icing, but because I don't really like icing too much, that's why I use chocolate. And then you just choose whatever decorations you want to put on top, and it's that simple. And just have fun with it, enjoy it, put some Christmas music on or a Christmas film and have fun. So I'm going to put a few little Christmas M&Ms on. And I'm also going to put some Christmas sprinkles. And voila, my cookie is ready. I'll show you a bit closer so you can have a look at what it looks like. Here is my cookie. And you don't need to be too precious with them, it's just for fun, they don't need to be perfect. And I'm just going to carry on decorating the cookies, and I'll show you what they look like afterwards. Today is the night before my last day of my project class at uni. So what I'm doing is I'm wrapping up the cookies. I bought some plain brown paper and I've cut it into little squares like this, and using this string, which is so beautiful, it's like a striped white and gold string, I'm wrapping up the cookies in pairs, so little parcels with 2 biscuits in each parcel like this. Which I think just makes really cute little presents which I can give to each person, to the teachers to thank them, and to everyone else in my class, just as a little token of appreciation and to show, you know, that I appreciate them as friends. So it's taking a long time because there's a lot of people. There's 28 people, and so far I have done about half of the parcels. I still have a lot of biscuits left, which is good because there are people from other classes as well and outside of uni that I also want to give biscuits to. Plus I want some left over for myself because because they're delicious. but that's what I'm doing at the moment. And I just have some Christmas music on and I am wrapping the parcels. So I will show you when it's all done. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed watching me make the Christmas cookies and pack them up as presents for my friends, and that you're inspired to make your own Christmas cookies, because honestly they are delicious. Please go and try this recipe now. And like I said, I think that these kind of gifts are the best kind of gifts you can give at Christmas time. So please subscribe to my channel to get more recipes and to join me on adventures around Paris, and I will see you next time. Bye and Merry Christmas.